Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Libra. So, Libra, as usual, I'm doing this reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. So, Libra, there is an interesting conversation going on between you and the magician, which is actually open up this reading for you. And maybe if you already saw this card in other readings, you know that I typically read this upright magician as holding something back, right? So the full magic hasn't been fully disclosed or fully revealed. It's something that like there's something still hanging on, right? It's like the magician is still waiting to know when the time will be right so that you can know the full message or receive the full magic, right? And I want to say that it's almost like they are testing you. They are making sure that you are certain that you are ready, right? That you know that you are ready to receive this truth above all, because this is what you're seeking, which is the Ace of Swords. So there's an interesting thing before I go on. There's something going on here in your reading today, Libra, which, I feel like there's a little bit of need to know, right? It feels like you need to know, you are demanding to know from this magician what is the truth, right? And I feel like it's like you want this synthesis or this summary, like this essence, right? The quintessence of the truth. It's like you want that drop of gold in a sense of what the truth is, right? The truth, the ultimate truth, perhaps. But as this magician is looking at you and saying, are you sure, Libra, that you're ready for this? Because once you see it, you cannot unsee it, right? And once you hear it, that's the thing about this truth. The truth is that you want it to be told to you, right? It's like you want to hear it. You want to because what I'm hearing from this Ace of Swords is it's like it's your response to this magician, right? It's like, yes, tell me what it is that you're hiding in there, right? Or what it is that you're keeping from me. What is this secret, this magic that cannot be shared right now? So I do feel like there is a little bit of like this not necessarily a conflict, but it's like it's like you're trying to stand your position, right? It's like you want to know the truth. You're demanding to be told the truth in a sense, right? Or to be given the truth at least. But the thing about the magician, Libra, is that it is not going to tell you what the truth is. It's going to show you. And I want to say that it's going to blow your mind. And once you see it, right? Because it's going to give you a direction, and I'm seeing almost like it's almost like a revelation of something that is going to like unfold in front of your eyes, right? It's again, it's not coming through as auditory or something that you're going to hear, right? Even though you're saying, tell me what is the truth, the magician is going to say, okay, you asked for it, and here it is, right? So it's like it's almost like opening this hat or lifting up this hat of the magician. It's like it's going to spill all the magic in front of you, right? It's almost like that the shift from the Wizard of Oz movie when it was all black and white and suddenly it's colorful, right? It's that kind of shift here with the magician. But the thing about this magician is that in a sense, since you want to hear something and actually are going to be given something else, almost like another type of stimulus or another type of like download, it's almost like, yes, the magician was asking you once and again if you were ready, right? And here you are showing up as the page, right? The page of swords. So I want to say that whatever you have demanded to know, it's way bigger than your consciousness is able to perceive. So it's almost like you're asking a lot, but until you really see it, you don't know that it is a lot, right? The magician, who's the one who is holding it all back, right? It's like he knows the size of it, the dimension of it, the it's like the impact that it can create, right, in your awareness. But it seems like you're a little bit stubborn, to be honest, right? And it's like it's only until you actually see it, right, that you're given a direction to. It's almost like given a focus, right? It's almost like because your focus was completely here on this magician, and then suddenly when the magician says, "Okay, here, look this way," right? Because it's almost like there is a shift in the landscape. This is how I'm perceiving how the revelation is going to be shown to you, right? It's like there is this very, very drastic shift in the landscape. It's like you're going to see it differently, right? So there is another focus. The focus now is on this huge truth, and your mind is just going to be blown away. It's almost like, I'm just thinking about a dream that I had once. It was the most vivid one, and I want to say that it was the only one that I can remember because of the colors, because they were shimmering and they were so it's like it's just colors that I don't even know exist here on earth, to be honest, because I don't. It's almost like, those very extreme radiances of colors. I don't. It's like way beyond the rainbow colors, if that makes sense. I don't even know how to describe them, right? It's almost like there is no language. That's the thing. That's the reason why the magician cannot tell you. It can only show you the magic because it's beyond language. And here you are demanding to be told the truth when in fact the truth cannot be told, right? And so it can only be perceived, but your consciousness, your mind, I want to say it's not yet developed to the point that it can perceive. At least when you see what the magician is going to show you, it's like you're going to it's like you're not going to be able to explain that, right, or even to make sense of it, right? It's like your mind cannot process that. It doesn't have words to explain that, especially because I want to say that this interaction, this dialogue, which feels very heated up, right? It's like here you are demanding to know the truth, and here is the magician saying, "Are you sure that you want to see this?" And once you say, "Yes, I'm sure," it's like you realize that you weren't 100% prepared. You see what I mean? So there's a little bit of that. It's almost like leaning back and saying, "Whoa, what is this?" Right? It's like it was not what I was expecting. So I want to say it's way beyond any expectation because it doesn't have language. So, but the other thing that is so interesting here, this is where it gets really trippy. It feels like you enter this other realm, this landscape that is beyond earthly uh, references or standards, right? There is at least one thing with the Ace of Wands, which is the tree, right? If you know how this card to me represents this fully grown, like this ancient oak tree, for instance. It's like this very ancient being of the earth, right? Even though it is the fire, but forget a little bit about the element here, just focus on the image. And I want to say that this is the first thing that your very inexperienced mind, right? It's like your very young consciousness to what the magician is showing you. It's actually perceiving and understanding and having like having something earthly recognized in this landscape, right? So maybe it's like the only thing that remains from what you have known, right? It's like from this small experience that you hold in your awareness, it's like you can recognize, oh my God, okay, I can see this is a tree, right? So it feels like maybe the most memorable symbol that you can pick from this huge vision, right? That the magician is showing up to you. It's like it's just opening like this very colorful, it's like this very it feels maybe very abstract, right? Because of the sword of truth, right? Something that goes beyond logic. So it's very abstract. It doesn't, uh, it's not anchored here on earth. Therefore, it doesn't have a form. But there is one thing that it is recognizable, which is the tree, right? And so you are in between, I want to say, Libra, two pillars of unity, right? Because these are the two aces, the ace of truth and the ace of creation. It's how it's coming through. So you are in between two concepts of or unity, or like two essences or two expressions, right? Two ways of perceiving unity, right? It's almost like unity can be seen as truth, but it can also be seen as creation, right? The truth of creation, for instance, or the creation of truth. It doesn't really matter. It feels like you're being revolved by all of this like mind-blowing moment of revelation, right? And there is this one thing that is anchoring down, that is helping to bring back something from it, because you can recognize this. So this feels very mind-boggling, right? It feels like this very, very different experience that you cannot understand it yet, right? It's like you're still, your mind, not that you are immature, but for what this magician is showing you, it's so beyond what you thought that you knew, right? Or that you were prepared for. It's way beyond. But I want to say that for some reason, if there is an actual symbol that really, it's like it shines differently, right? It has like this, at least it catches your attention because it is recognizable, right? Because it's like a reliable, known symbol, right? It's a familiar symbol, something that you understand, that you can relate to from where you come from. So here you're showing up. Well, it's you and it is not, right? Because the King of Wands is coming through as like the one that is grounded, but it's also very dynamic. So it's almost like it's like joining forces between the fire element, represented by the wand suit, but also the image of the tree, right? So, and it is the king. So therefore, it's almost like this self-actualization of who you are, right? Or how do you perceive yourself as being right now? So I want to say that if you, after seeing this whole truth, right, or this new landscape that is just way beyond language, it's like you felt very belittled by it, or at least very it's almost like, unprepared, right? Even though the magician asked you once and again if you were prepared, and you assured to him that yes, you were prepared, but clearly you're not, right? At least to what this magician is showing to you, right? Not to other things or in general, just this, right? But when in this whole vision, right, almost like this demonstration of what unity is, or the expressions of unity, right? When it comes to creation, and maybe creation as in like a manifestation of the truth in the 3D, which is something that you can recognize, it's like you grow, right? It's like you grow just like the tree, right? You don't feel like a child, you don't feel immature, you don't feel inexperienced. In fact, it's like you feel, okay, so now I know something, right? It's like now I feel more advanced. I feel like I have like more abilities to be in this place, or to at least take it in, right? Here you are taking in the symbol, right? Literally, you're taking the symbol, and you're taking it to your crown, right? So you're taking it with a lot of sovereignty, but also it's almost like the need to, it's almost like to explain this, right? It's like, if we're talking about like this trippy meditation, or a dream, or whatever it's going on, it feels very out there, Libra. um it's almost like you have the sensation that if you came back, it's like if this experience ended here, you wouldn't know how to explain this, right? So thanks to the appearance of some sort of symbol that is very familiar to your earthly origins, right? Or your earthly memories, right? Or perspective of yourself, recognition of yourself, then this is the part that you will remember. This is the part that you will share with others, right? Because we have the 10 of Wands coming next. But this is interesting because, and this is where the King of Wands also flips, being you, but not you, right? because in sharing this experience, you're sharing the just one side of it, right? It's like you're not sharing the entirety of it. It's almost like there is a whole other half that you know, for lack of better words, or for lack of language, or, you know, just this inability to really translate what you saw, you're just, it's like, it's almost like this is inexistent, right? It's almost like this, your mind couldn't process this, so it's out of the picture, at least for the ones that you're sharing this experience with. So I want to say that it is a little bit how do you say, it's like it's you know, it's not fully the truth, right? It's not the entire truth of your experience, right? It's just part of it. It's a partial truth, right? It's a partial, incomplete truth that you're sharing. And that is the reason why it has a little bit of the traditional way down energy of the Ten of Wands, right? Because it's almost like you're leaving behind the part of the experience that was light as air, or that was you know, formless, and you're sticking to just the part that has the density, right? Or the symbol of density, the symbol of manifestation. Everything else, it's like it's just it's like it's just a blank, right? Or even if it's not a blank, it's like you cannot communicate it, right? Because, you know, maybe you were so particular in saying, magician, tell me the truth, but you were not told the truth. You don't know how to share it, right? Because you don't even know, you know, it's like you don't even know what it was that you saw, right? It was so beyond your imagination, maybe your capacity to absorb that. But this one thing that you are able to take with you from this experience, it's something that just it weighs the path. So this is where it becomes a little bit bizarre, because again, remember, these two concepts are just expressions of oneness, or expressions of unity, right? But they are different. It's almost like they complement each other, right? It's almost like they are different facets of the same diamond in a sense. But if you take one of the pieces or one of the facets, it's almost like you're looking at it's like you're just being one-sided, right? You're saying that the truth is just that, if that makes sense. Or you're thinking that, right? Maybe because you couldn't really process the other part, right? But when you're sharing, it takes with it the density of just that part, right? It's almost like, you know, when you tell a story and it is incomplete, and to the other listening, it's almost like, but, you know, how does it end, or how does it begin, or, you know, what happens, right? It feels like there's something, you know, maybe this reading is that, right? Maybe because I don't have the words to express what I'm seeing here, perhaps you're going to be left out with the message of, okay, but what is this, right? It's like, you know, I don't really understand it. And, you know, it's the same thing that maybe you're feeling already here, right? Facing this awkward expression of the truth, or this demonstration of the truth, right? So here, ending with a tower, now this is where this whole picture really gets bizarre, because, you know, as I was saying, the King of Wands was showing up first, you know, before these two cards came through, as just your way to not cope with the situation, but at least try to make sense as best as you can, right? With what you have um, developed in your own psyche, right? Your ability to perceive what manifestation is, what creation is. It's like you want to come out of this situation as having having matured, or having it's like having been upgraded somehow, right? From the page to the king. So this is your intent, right? Maybe there is also like this instinctive desire to grow from this, right? So it's almost like you want to grow from this. So, you know, when sharing, it's almost like you don't even know that what you're sharing is just a partial truth, right? Because the other part, it's like you couldn't translate, right? So I want to say the tower, it's interesting, it was what it was I was going to say death door, right? But if you look at the tower, it's just a blank space. It is the same shape as the death door, right? In my deck, at least. Um, but it's not here, right? In a sense, it is open. And I want to say this is another experience, right? Maybe this is another encounter with the magician, but one that you're yet to experience. It's almost like the first one, it's like you were demanding to know things, right? And even, if you were given the thing that you were asking for, it's like what you brought back, it was just half of it. And even in sharing that, it's like you could feel, it's like the weightness or the just like the it's almost like it's still incomplete, right? There's something that is lacking, that is missing. So there's something, it's almost like that in sharing everything that you could remember or that you could make sense, it still just weighs down on you. It's almost like maybe you feel disappointed in yourself that you couldn't process the first part of it. So, maybe you are, just putting yourself down, right? It's like you're being hard on yourself. That's the reason why, like, that there is more, I want to say, right? And I want to say that it's not going to take long because the tower is right on the corner, right? So it's almost like maybe you share briefly this first experience, but then straight away you go back to another experience because it's almost like there's more to know from this magician, right? Or at least now that you have seen some of it or maybe all of it, but you can't yet explain it, it's almost like there are a bunch of new questions that are emerging or that have emerged from the first things that the magician has revealed for you. So it's almost like you're getting ready for the next experience, it's like the next revelation, right? It's just talking about like once you've crossed this threshold, it's like there is no going back. The same way that once you saw this magic, it's like there is no unseeing it, right? Maybe you need to, it's almost like you need to develop your consciousness in order to really have the language to explain. But I want to say it's like what's on the other side of this tower is still, it's almost like it's still a blank slate, right? It's like you have to cross it so that you can paint the colors, right? The colorful landscape. It's like you need to be the one crossing over so that you can see the colors on the canvas, right? Which is, perhaps your consciousness. So, Libra, I know that this was a weird reading, but I truly hope that this was helpful for you. I am going to pull more cards to see where this magic, this crazy reading wants to go next. And also, I'm going to pull from the astrological runes in the extended reading. So, if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find link down below. If not, see you next time. Bye.